back on January 20th, I was 42. I'm now 43. That's how long it's taken for them to win a road game.
A whole year?
I think Marc Jackson might have been a year younger, too. His birthday's right around mine, I believe. He joins us now on the Sports Bash Boardwalk Honda Hotline, NBC Sports Philadelphia. Right, Mark? Your birthday's right around January 20th, isn't it?
Yes, sir. January 16th, to be exact.
There you go. See, I knew that.
I think we all aged, in general, 10 years this season. I don't
feel
know
like I was 30 the last time the Sixers won a road game. So they win the game on the road last night, and I want to get your take on the fact that I thought last night, Mark, was a collaborative team effort, and that's what excited me about them winning that game last night. They got contributions, good contributions from a lot of different guys.
I agree with you 100%. That team, to me, the last two games seem to be playing real free and like a bird. Just everybody getting involved. Everybody seems to be comfortable. I just hope that they can continue.
So it's hard sometimes to take something from these games when you're missing Joel, when you're missing Ben, and when you're missing Josh. I know the last time we had you on, you talked about them missing Josh Richardson and how much that hurt them during the last losing streak they had from what he gives them defensively. But do you take anything from these games without those guys?
Yes, I do. I take guys being comfortable playing in the system and getting opportunities to display themselves for the coaches when it comes playoff time.
So I'm trying not to be a prisoner of the moment here, Mark. I'm trying to evaluate what I've seen from Shake Milton over the last, month and a half. And I like the way he attacks the basketball. I like the way he used his left hand. He clearly has been shooting well. I even expect that to come down a little bit. But it makes me positive about his future in a Sixers uniform as more than just maybe some spare part who's going to come in and come out. I think he's got skills. Am I being too optimistic or too recency bias, or do you think that there's something there?
I think you're looking at the 76ers starting point guard.
And because he does what we've been saying the Sixers need when Ben's not going to be holding on to the ball or if Ben has to go to the dunker spot. He can handle the ball and he can run the offense.
Agree. He's really displayed that he can play on the floor with anyone. He can be off the ball, on the ball, but I really feel as though he can contribute. And I think even when Ben's on the floor, he still can give you big minutes. And I think he's proved that to not just the fans. I think he's proved that to the coaches.
Do you think that, in what you're saying, is that if everybody were healthy, they can figure out ways that Shake and Ben can play together a significant number of minutes, or is it going to be a one or the other type thing?
No. They will be on the floor together. He will be the starting point guard. Ben will be point forward. I think Brett Brown said something real interesting a few games ago. Since you're looking at Shake, who's playing like a starting point guard, he's playing like it. I'll never let Brett Brown live that statement down. And if you go back to even when Elton Brand was in the press conference after, and I'm a conspiracy theorist, so forgive me. But if you go even back to Elton Brand, when Elton was talking about, Ben Simmons, he said, Ben is our point guard. I'm sorry, main ball handler. To me, he caught himself in mid-stride to make that statement. So for me, I think they're starting to realize they need another ball handler on the floor. And they might be okay with starting calling Ben more of a point forward instead of point guard.
Oh, that's interesting. Because Milton has obviously expanded his game. What do you do with Al Horford when everybody's back and healthy?
Al Horford comes off the bench. I think that's his best position for this team. I think for the spacing of this team, and I think for this team to move on and become a dominant team, he needs to come off the bench. And if I'm in a situation like him, I'm okay with that because my contract stays the same. So as long as my contract stays the same, whether you play me 40 minutes, 28 minutes, whether I start or come off the bench, my contract is the same. As long as I get a chance to contribute, I'm okay with that. And I think Al, over the initial shot, may not like being coming off a bench as a role player, but he'll understand because he's always been known as a great great role model, and great professional.
Yeah, so you're looking at, and I'll map this out. So Joel, Tobias, Shake, Richardson, and Ben. That's your playoff starting five.
Absolutely. That's my playoff starting five. That's the team I'm looking at for the future as of now.
All right, so then that leaves roles for guys like Glenn Robinson, Alec Burks, Cork Maz. I'm interested to get your take, though, on Mike Scott, because Tobias Harris went out of his way last night to praise what Scott has given them. And I think all of us could recognize he had not been playing well, but the last two nights I thought he's given them something different.
I absolutely couldn't agree with you more. He has not been playing well the last 10, 15 games when his numbers call, but I really feel as though last game he really did a lot of things he normally hasn't been doing. He was a lot of cutting to the basket, a lot of finishing on a break, and making plays, hitting shots. He's been doing a lot of things. And one thing Mike Scott always has been is very physical. So with this team, he established that physical dominance in the beginning, and they continue throughout the game.
Mark, we've talked about this upcoming game at Golden State. Obviously, Steph Curry will be back. And then the relative ease of the schedule when they get back home. Now, Joel, it sounds like will be coming back soon. Ben, it's still far away. Do you feel that with Joel coming back and the ease of the schedule that they have a better than average chance of still finishing with the fourth seed?
To be very honest, no. I think that ship is sailed. I don't think they get to the fourth. I think they're going to end up being fifth or maybe even sixth. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them not reaching that as of now. I know you can't tell the players this, but I would prefer for them, if they're going to be anything, I prefer for them to be sixth, because then second round they would end up getting Toronto. Instead of juggernaut known as Milwaukee Bucks. Fear the deer. I'm okay with that.
Hey,
and I don't think they're getting fourth. I just hate to say it, but that's a fact.
Yeah, and Mark, I like, obviously as someone who has played in the league and knows the difference between playing a home game and a road game and what goes into that, does that bother you at all that, hey, once you get to the playoffs, it's on that day you focus up and play your best, you can win regardless, but does the road record bother you entering the playoffs as a 5-6 seed?
Absolutely, because you have to win on the road in the NBA playoffs. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You have to win on the road. So I would like to see them get together, and I think they've been playing better. I really believe they've been playing together as a team. They've been playing a lot better. Guys have been playing focused and seem to be enjoying playing together. But I really believe that in order for them to do what they're supposed to do, they got to get it together consistently, because road wins are important. But I think this is a different team than a few months ago. So I think they will be starting to even it out a little bit.
Mark, what did you see from Horford last night that made his game a lot more, a lot more effective than it's been all year? And was it something that's sustainable, or do you think it was just time for him to have a good game?
I think he's been aggressive. Let's go back to the Laker game. Mm-hmm. His numbers didn't look good. He didn't look great. But for me, it's important to realize he was being aggressive. And when you're trying to find yourself for your team, it's important that you are going out with a bang, emptying your clip, as we like to say. So he was trying to help the team, even though his numbers show he played bad. But to me, he was being aggressive. And I chalk it up to the Lakers being a good team. But last night, his numbers, his points was coming, his rebounds coming, and his assist was there.
All right, we're talking with Marc Jackson. A couple more for Mark before we let him roll here. Sixers, by the way, tomorrow night against Golden State. Listen to it right here on 97.3. The two new guys, Alec and Glenn Robinson. Now, Robinson had kind of ruffled some feathers. He said he didn't know his role. At that point, he hadn't done anything. He finally hit a three. He's looked to be a little bit more comfortable. What are you seeing from those two that maybe excite you moving forward, what their roles can be in addition to, getting a full team back?
Well, for Glenn, let's talk about Glenn Robinson III first. Glenn Robinson III is a long, athletic wing guy who can shoot, who can create off the bounce, but he's a live wire. He is an athlete. Bounce to his set. He is somebody you need, another wing defender. That is something that he is. Alec Burks, on the other hand, is a scorer. He is not a shooter. He is not Furkan. He's not going to spot up there and just jack up a bunch of threes. He is a scorer. He's getting more comfortable in this system, which is very important to understand. Yes, Glenn Robinson ruffles some feathers, but sometimes you need to ruffle some feathers to get things going. Let them know you're here. If you don't feel as though your role has been defined, then go ahead and speak out. I would prefer he had with the coach about it, but I think it ruffles some feathers, and sometimes adversity is good. So I'm not mad at him. And I also would like to bring out the fact that when Brett Brown was asked about it, Brett Brown threw some shade at you. Brett Brown wasn't happy about it.
Yeah.
But that wasn't Glenn's fault. He felt as though you didn't define his role. Don't throw shade at him. Go step to him. Period.
Yeah, I was going to follow up with that because Brown seemed like he was like, no. This guy was told what his role was, just like everybody else was. And I thought he went out of his way the other night about Milton by saying, I told Shake Milton, you are out of the rotation. I don't know if that was his way of reaffirming that I told everybody their roles.
Yeah, I think it was. I think he didn't like being questioned.
Yeah.
That a new player was asking that, and he was trying to put his foot down. And I understand that. But you see, since then, I think Glenn Robinson has been playing good and Alec Burks is playing good.
Yeah.
Adversity is not always bad.
All right, Marc Jackson, late night last night. What time did you get home?
Oh, man, I got home like 1-something, didn't get in bed, fall asleep like 2-something. It was a long night, but it was worth it. A win, I'm willing to stay up late for a win.
And you'll see Marc Jackson throughout the Sixers season, NBC Sports Philadelphia. Him and the coach and Amy do a great job. Everybody will be following along. Sixers, Warriors, Saturday night. And Marc, like all guests, appeared via the Boardwalk Honda hotline. All right, take care, Marc.
Thanks, fellas. Y'all have a great day.
You do the same. Marc Jackson, like all guests, appeared via the Boardwalk Honda hotline.